Hey, hi you guys, and welcome back to Through Evangelist Eyes. Excuse me, my name's Rod Savala, and I'm at an intersection here in Fresno at Fruit and McKinley. And I really like this chapter we're in. And over the last two videos, I got a chance to talk with a young man crossing the street, Kalen. And so I stopped going to the chapter that I was intending to do, and me and Kalen had a great talk. And then the following video, I was helping a friend work on his landscape, on his sprinkler system, and I just wanted to interview him, see what kind of ways he gets on the subject of the gospel. So today I get to go back to this chapter. It's Joshua chapter 10. And both those interviews were related to what I was really seeing in chapter 10. I love this phrase here. Joshua chapter 10, verse 12. Then Joshua, well, let me kind of set the stage. Joshua is fighting. He's fighting at least 5 kings at the same time. They came together thinking that if they were united, they could take over or they could beat Israel. And Joshua does something that just stops me in my tracks and makes me go, wow, am I so bold in my faith? No, I'm not. I'm not as bold as Joshua. And I named this video is Who Sees Your Faith and Who Hears Your Faith? You know, plenty of people have seen my unbelief, my foolishness, my selfishness. They see that. But who has seen my faith and who has heard my faith? That's a different question. Joshua, listen to how this reads. Then Joshua spoke to the Lord in that day when the Lord delivered up the Amorites before the sons of Israel. And he said in the sight of Israel. So Joshua is speaking to the Lord by way of prayer, I suppose, out loud. And he's doing it in the sight of the people, of the Israelites who are watching his leadership. And look what he asked for. You know, we sometimes stress out because we're asking something impossible. It's just too big. It's asking too much. Really? Really? Take a look at what Joshua asked for. And he said in the sight of Israel, O sun, stand still at Gibeon, and O moon in the valley of Ajalon. So the sun stood still, and the moon stopped. Wow. You know, I know the unbeliever, they don't know God. They accuse Christians of pretending that there is a God. That's our security blanket. That's our crutch. No, no, we believe in the miracles. We believe in the impossible because of who God has already shown himself to be. It's not a big thing for me to believe God can do these things. That's not a big thing. For me to ask, because I think I'm walking with the Lord in such a way that He would grant me such a request, or that my heart is right. Not that am I a believer, am I one of His children? No, I'm totally convinced of that. It's my walk in wisdom, my walk in purity, my walk in righteousness, my motives. Joshua asked something off the charts, so off the charts. And you know, sometimes I'm convinced that God has allowed us leaders like Joshua, like Moses, like David, on and on and on and on, some amazing leaders, so that you can see that God is able to answer your prayer and mine. He's able. And we ought to search deep in our trust of Him, in our belief, in our knowledge of Him, and we ought to ask some bigger things than what we've been asking. Bigger things for my children, for my neighbors, for my nephew, for my nieces. We ought to ask bigger things. God gives. And actually, in the next video, I can't wait to enumerate just what God gives. It's amazing. But right now, let me get back to in Matthew. Joshua, again, who hears, the name of this video, who hears, who sees your faith. In Matthew chapter 8, verse 10. Let me get to this. Jesus said, I will come and heal him. But the centurion said, Lord, I am not worthy for you to come under my roof, but just say the word and my servant will be healed. For I also am a man under authority, with soldiers under me. And I say to this one, go, and he goes. And I say to another, come, and he comes. And to my slave, do this, and he does it. Now, when Jesus heard this, he marveled. The Lord marveled at hearing this centurion speak. Amazing. And said to those who were following, give me a second here, my camera wants to keep blowing over. Let me get back. He marveled and said to those who were following, truly I say to you, I have not found such great faith with anyone in Israel. Wow. You know, can something come out of my mouth that God would be so pleased to hear, that he would give such a compliment? I hope so. Someday I hope so. And then in John chapter 9, do you remember this story? It's about the blind man, the man born blind. And they argue with him. And he rehearses. You want to know evangelism? Rehearse what the Lord has done in your life, in somebody else's life, in the Word, what you know in the Word, rehearse it. That's evangelism. The Spirit of God will do what He does. this blind man gets the Pharisees and the religious order so twisted and turned, they throw him out of the synagogue. Then look what happens. This is John chapter 9, verse 35. Jesus heard that they had put him out, and finding him, he said, "Do you believe in the Son of Man?" He answered, "Who is he, Lord, that I may believe in him?" You know, amazing. Jesus hears us. We know that. Does the world hear us? Does the world see us believing? I hope they do. So here we go, and let's hope they hear and they see our faith. God bless you, and here I go.